Special episode Our Cozy Forever. The new chapter of their life had begun in Theong's grand mansion. It was spacious, luxurious, filled with everything money could buy. But Jungkook's little apartment still had a special charm. Theong, despite owning countless properties, always found himself craving the warmth of that cozy space where everything smelled of Jungkook. Lavender, candles, book piled up on the coffee table, a small sofa where they once shared their first accidental cuddle. So often they would spend nights in the mansion for convenience and safety, but weekends Theong would insist. Stay at your place, Cookie. I like how cozy it is. It makes me feel closer to you. Jungkook would laugh, rolling his eyes. You're a businessman, Tai. You could buy the whole building if you want. Theong would lean down to kiss him softly, replaying, I don't want the building. I want you. Waking up together one morning after a long night of whispered touches and soft moans, Jungkook stirred awake when Theong's arm. His body ached deliciously, but before he could move, Theong pressed a kiss to his temple. Don't get up. Theong murmured, his voice husky from sleep. I'll take care of everything today. Jungkook blinked at him, cheeks pink. I am fine, but Theong shook his head firmly. No, you're my husband. Let me spoil you. He carried Jungkook by his side to the shower, washed his hair gently, even dried him off with a towel like he was the most fragile thing in the world. When they returned to bed, Jungkook whispered, against his chest, why do you love me so much? Theong smiled, tightening his hold. Because you taught me that love feels like. Hana's teasing. Living together meant Hana had been free reign of the mansion. She adored her brother and now clung to Theong just as much, but of course she had her playful side. One afternoon, Jungkook sat reading while Theong brought him tea. Hana peeked in, giggling, you two are always together. Don't you ever get bored of each other? Jungkook flushed scarlet, nearly dropping his book. Hana, Theong chuckled, ruffling his hair. Never. I would live 100 lives with your brother and still want more. Another day, while they were all having dinner, Hana suddenly asked, completely innocent, can I have a baby to play with, like a little brother or sister? Both Theong and Jungkook froze mid-bite, staring at her with wide eyes. Jungkook choked on his water while Theong patted his back, trying not to burst into laughter. Hana, Jungkook stuttered, cheeks stirred. Theong smirked. That's a very serious request. Hana just shrugged, giggling. I'll be the best big sister. Don't worry, I'll help. Night conversation. That night, when Hana was asleep, Theong and Jungkook lay curled together under the covers. Theong brushed his fingers along Jungkook's cheeks gently. Cookie, do you want that? A baby. Not because Hana asked, but because you want it. It's your decision. Always. Jungkook blinked, heart racing. I do, but maybe not right now. I'm a little scared. Theong kissed his forehead. Then we'll wait. Whenever you're ready, I'll be by your side. Months later. Fate has its own way. Jungkook was pregnant when they found out. Jungkook cried first, overwhelmed, but Theong held him tightly, whispering over and over, Thank you for giving me this gift. For the first time, both Theong and Hana turned into overprotective guardians. Jungkook wasn't allowed to lift a finger. Even if he tried to cook, Theong would swoop in, sit down, love, I'll handle it. If he reached for laundry, Hana would snatch it away. Theong, baby's inside, no chaos. Jungkook sometimes pouted, I'm not made of glass, but Theong would only smile, kissing his pout away. No, you're made of my heart, and I don't want it to break. Nine months later, they welcomed a baby boy in the world. Theong held him first, tears streaming down his face before placing him gently in Jungkook's arm. Hana peeked in, gasping with wonder. He's so tiny, but he looks like Cookie Theong, she whispered. Theong kissed Jungkook's sweaty forehead. He's perfect, just like his Cookie Oppa. From that day on, the mansion echoed with baby cries, Hana's playful laughter, and Theong's deep voice, singing lullabies in the middle of the night. Jungkook was never left alone. Theong and Hana made sure he felt cherished every second, whether by holding the baby, cooking for him, or simply hugging him when he felt overwhelmed. The little family was complete. Baby's name. After long talks, late night list, and plenty of giggles, they finally agreed a name for their son, Unmu Kim. Hyung explained softly, Unmu means deserving of honor, shining, and divine protection. That's what I want our son to have all his life. Jungkook smiled, kissing the baby's forehead. Unmu, our precious light. Hana clapped excitedly. Unmu, my little nephew. One morning, Hana sat cross-legged on the big bed, eyes sparkling at Hyung. Carefully changed tiny Unmu's clothes. See, Hana, Hyung said gently, his large hand moving with such tenderness. He's very small, so we have to be slow. First, we put his little arm here. Hana leaned closer, whispering, he's like a doll, but real. Hyung chuckled, yes, but dolls don't wiggle this much. Baby kicked softly, and Hana gasped, he's smiling at me. Jungkook laughed for the second, holding the baby's blanket. He likes his aunt. Finally, Theong let Hana try. She carefully slid the tiny sleeve over Unmu's hand, tongue sticking out in concentration. When she succeeds, she looked up proudly. See, I can do it too. Theong patted her head. You'll be the best aunt. Aunt and nephew moments. From then on, Hana took her role very seriously. She would sing city songs, and baby Unmu would giggle, clutching her hair. She gave him nicknames like my little star, my cutie Unmo. Sometimes she would lay beside him on the playmat, talking about her day at school while he curled as if listening carefully. One evening, Theong walked in to see Hana reading a children's storybook aloud, complete with voice. Jungkook watching quietly from the couch. Melting, Theong whispered to Jungkook, she is like his second parent. Jungkook nodded, she is more like a tiny mom than me sometimes. School and baby separation. The hardest part for Hana was leaving for school. She would hug Unmu tightly every morning, pouting, I'll miss you so much. Don't grow too fast while I'm gone, okay? She whispered against his soft hair. When she returned, the first thing she did was rush inside, drop her bag, wash her hands, and dash to Unmu's crib. Unmu, auntie's home, she would announce dramatically. The baby's eyes always lit up, and he waved his tiny arms, going. Hana would squeal, picking him up carefully. See? He know me, Hyung. He's waiting for me. Jungkook laughed, shaking his head. Of course he does. You're his favorite. Hyung teased. More than me, apparently. Hana giggled smugly. Obviously. The afternoon sun streamed softly into the living room. Hana was sprawled on the rug with baby Unmu, giggling in his tiny rattle, while Jungkook folded laundry on the couch and Theong lazily sipped juice, keeping an eye on them. Suddenly, Unmu stopped his curling. He blinked those round eyes and out of nowhere said, Appa. The whole room froze. Jungkook's hands still on the shirt he was folding. His heart skipped. Wait, did he just say? Theong sat up straight, eyes wide. He said, Appa. Unwa, Hana squealed, scooping him up in disbelief. Say it again, Appa. Which Appa? Jungkook's throat tightened, tears threatening to spill as he whispered. Did he mean me? Theong leaned closer, hand over his chest, almost whispering, or me. The baby only giggled at the stunned faces, enjoying the chaos he had just caused. Then, after a long pause, he opened his mouth again. Auntie. Hana gasped out loudly, it echoed. He said, Auntie, it's me. I'm his favorite. She clutched Jungkook Unmu like a trophy, spinning in circles while the baby laughed. Hyung fell back on the sofa dramatically. Unbelievable. He had the perfect chance to choose his father, and he picked her. Jungkook was already wiping his tear with a shy smile. At least he said Appa first, even if we don't know which one of us he meant. Hana stuck her tongue out proudly. It doesn't matter. The winner is me. Auntie for the win. Unmu squealed happily in her arm as if agreeing. Hyung groaned, hiding his face in his hand. This is rigged. My own son is biased. Jungkook leaned over, placing a gentle kiss on Theong's temple. Don't sulk, Hyung. You know he loves you. Unmu curled again, clapping his tiny hands, his way of sealing the chaos he had caused in the Kim household that day. It had been days since Unmu's Appa auntie stand, and Theong was still sulking like a wounded puppy. Whenever Jungkook teased him about it, he would huff and say, just wait, one day he'll call me. That evening, the house was warm and quiet. Jungkook was in the kitchen preparing dinner. Hana was drawing at the table, and Theong sat on the rug with Unmu in his lap, gently bouncing him. Unmu, Theong whispered softly, his deep voice trembling with hope. It's Appa Tai. Can you say it? Appa Tai. The baby only blinked and rolled on his shirt. Hyung chuckled, wiping his chin with a napkin. "You're making me wait on purpose, aren't you?" He kissed Eunwoo's forehead, resting his cheeks against his tiny head. "You don't know how much I love you, my boy." And then, as if responding to that love, Eunwoo babbled, "Appa, Tai." Hyung froze his breath, hitched his eyes widened, glistening with tears. Did you just what? Hana dropped her crayons and jumped up, running over. "Did he just say Appa, Tai?" Jungkook rushed from the kitchen, wiping his hand on his apron, and saw Hyung sitting down with Eunwoo completely stunned, tears sliding down his cheeks. Jungkook covered his mouth. "Oh my god, he really said it," Hana squealed, clapping her hand. "Finally, he said Appa Tai." "Look, he's crying, big scary United Club boss. Kim Hyung is crying because his baby called him." "Yeah," Hyung sniffled, laying half-heartedly as he tried to hide his face with one hand. "Don't make fun of me. This is serious." But Unmu giggled, reaching up with his little hand to put Hyung's cheek, as if comforting him. Hyung broke down completely, hugging his son close and whispering against his ear, "Thank you, baby. You made Appa the happiest man alive." Jungkook grabbed his arms around both from behind, heart swelling. Now you have your title, Hyung, Appa Tai." Hana smiled, crossing her arms. "Took him long enough, but don't worry, Auntie's still his favorite." Everyone burst into laughter. The room filled with warmth, love, and the sound of Unmu's tiny giggles, saying Appa, Appa in JK's arms.